This is your hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy, back in the Nashville Predator locker room. I'm still at the same spot. Today, I'm talking about, and I'm curious about 30 different players, one per team, since they got traded or they got signed by the new team as a UFA. So I'm very curious about what they're going to do for the upcoming season. So here we go. Welcome back with your hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy, for the Hockey Nation Live show. Like I mentioned to you, I'm curious about 32 different players for one per team, what they are going to do for the upcoming season. But before we dive inside that selection, I want to invite you, don't forget to subscribe and to YouTube channel and the Facebook page. And finally, if you like this video, click on the likes. And you have any comments about my selection of each team, please leave your comments below this video. So let's dive in right away about this selection. Here we go, 32 players I'm curious about for the upcoming season. First of all, for the Buffalo Sabres, Robert Hagg. We know he got traded from the Philadelphia Flyers against Rasmus Ristolainen, and I would be very curious about him. Now, the Seattle Kraken, guys, I'll be honest with you, I was not sure if I should go with Jaden Schwartz or Philip Gruber, but I believe it's a big year to figure out what really is Gruber after a couple of last two seasons with the Colorado Avalanche. Have a great year. He was one of the top best goaltender this year in NHL. So I decided to go with him. But again, I think Schwartz could be also a great selection. For the Anaheim Ducks, guys, this was really not big because there are no many change over there. One of the lower UFA, Greg Pateryn, but again, this team, I don't have no really big name for them. For the Columbus Blue Jacket, this is a big one over there I could go. I could go with, of course, I did with Jacob Voracek after he trade against Cam Atkinson. But also, I think the trade with Zed John bring the young defenseman, Adam Bovis could be a good selection also for the Columbus Blue Jacket. But I want with the veteran, see what he's going to do with his new teammate, Patrick Laney. For the New Jersey Devil, this guy, I was really not sure. I could decide to go with Dougie Hamilton. Of course, he signed a big contract over there. But I'm more curious about the ex-NHL player from the Montreal Canadiens, Thomas Tatar. What he's going to do with the new team. We know for the last couple of years, he played very well, 5 versus 5, with Dano and Gallagher as the teammates. But I would be curious now what Thomas Tatar is going to do without them. So that's my selection for Devils. About for Detroit Red Wings. Listen, they trade for Nick Lady. I think that's the one I'm looking for. See what he's going to do with the new team, the Red Wings. For the San Jose Sharks, the goaltender Adin Hill, the trade they got with the Coyotes to bring him as a goaltender number 1 now. I think he have a big year in front of him, so be serious about this. The Los Angeles Kings, guys, it's all about Philip Dano, big contract, $5.5 million, 6 year. First time for a long time he left the Montreal Canadiens now after 6 years over there, so be curious. The Vancouver Canucks, guys, this is a big one over there. I was not sure if I should go with Connor Garland or Oliver Larson, and then finally I go with OEL. I think after 2 bad seasons, you have a lot pressure over there. You know, it's going to be in Canadian territory now, and I know this is not easy place to play, so he's going to get booed a lot if he does not show up, not show more consistency or the expectation the Canucks waiting for him. For the Ottawa Senators, it was easy, not a big change over there, so I'll go with the veterans, Nick Holden got trade from the Vegas Golden Knight. Again, Dadonov. The Chicago Blackhawks, this was another team I was not sure. What are you talking about, Coach? Listen, I can go with Zed Jones. Came back for the big trade from the Columbus Blue Jacket. But I think Marc-Andre Fleury, I'm curious about, after, let's say, won the trophy now best goaltender last year. Did well since he got left from the Pittsburgh to Vegas and to be with a new team. And I think I'm curious about what MFE can do for the upcoming season. So we're going to follow up very closely. For the Calgary Flames guy, it was easy. Blake Coleman signed a big contract as a UFA, 6 year. So it'll be really interesting what Coleman is going to do now with the Flames. The Philadelphia Flyers. This one was another team where they make a lot of change. But I think for me, the biggest one for me I need to see is Ryan Ellis. I can go with Cam Atkinson, but Ellis as a defense number 2 now. Can he consist what he did with for many years with the Nashville Predators? New team, new teammate, new pair of defense beside him. So it would be interesting what Ryan's going to do. For the Dallas Star now, they don't have a lot of big change over there, to be honest with you. But I think for me is that UFA, Ryan Sutter, how he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to be fine, but I'm just curious about how he's going to be with the Star. The New York Rangers, guys. Now, on that moment here, I think I have to go with Barclay Goodrow. Got a great signature over there. A lot of money for the Rangers, and also for longevity of the contract. So we'll see what Goodrow is going to bring for the Rangers. For the St. Louis Blues, guys, I go with Pavel Buchnevich. Honestly, got trade against Sammy Blair and a pick. And I think Buchnevich have a couple of good years with the Rangers. Can he continue over there with the Blues? The Winnipeg Jets, guys, is about the trade they got for Nate Schmidt. I think with a big contract, $6 million after a bad year with Vancouver would be interesting. Nashville Predators could shifting with a couple of players, but I think Cody Glass, after a couple of years with the Vegas Golden Knights, first round pick for them, never delivery exactly what we expect from him. But at the same time, guys, I believe for me, it's about never have an opportunity to play as a regular full player in NHL for Vegas. So now he have a chance to be a good part of the top 6 for Predator. The Oilers guy, it's only for me, Zach Hyman left the Toronto Maple Leafs for the Oilers as a UFA, 7-year contract, 5.5. Would be interesting to see him with McDavid now without Matthews and Marner when I'm done too much worry. The Boston Bruins, I have a couple of picks over there I could get with Eric Ola, but I go with Nick Foligno. I think the veteran after a bad way after the trade deadline with the Toronto, he struggled over there with injury, everything like that. He did not exactly show what Foligno can do. Like he did with Columbus with the Toronto. So I'll be curious now what he's going to do for the Boston Bruins for the upcoming season. The Minnesota Wild. Honestly, there I go with the veteran Golikovsky because he signed a 1 year only, but $5 million, that's a lot. And then secondly, what he going to do without Minnesota, without Sutter and Parise at that moment. The Vegas Golden Knights, this could be 2 ways. And maybe 3 ways. We're talking about, coach. But first, they trade for Dadonov. Dadonov carried on a big contract of $5.5 million. Did not do well at Ottawa. I can go with the trade they make for Nolan Patrick, where after a couple of years and Flowers never been or reached his full potential with that or expectation at the 2nd round pick overall. And then finally, I can go with Laurent Brossoit. Why? Because he's going to get compared with Fleury. He's going to have that kind of pressure if Leonard struggle over there. So I could be with 3 different players for Vegas, but finally I went with Dadonov. We'll see if he can become the one we saw with the Panthers a couple of years ago. For the Florida Panthers, talking about them, for me, it's the same Renard. They got trade. I'm not worried about him, but I'm curious about what he's going to do with a guy like Barkov, as a center with him. The Pittsburgh Penguins guy. We have not many players over there, to be honest with you. You can select. Danton and then they got from the UFA after the Anaheim let him go. The Ducks. I think it'll be very interesting about this player for the upcoming season. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, they have a couple of players you can get. You can get the secondary player they get, like Richie, Case, Bonding, over there. But I want to go with the veteran Pete Mrazek, because I think the fact now he's going to be sharing the net with Jack Campbell will be interesting. We'll see if he's going to be, or he's going to have a better year compared to Frederik Andersen after 5 years between the pipe for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Mrazek is going to have a little bit more pressure in Toronto for sure. The Carolina Hurricanes, guys. But for them, I could shift in with front players. First of all, we know Edmonton is out. They trade for Warren Foegele for Aiden Bear. I could pick him. I can also pick Jan Cole, and then finally one with Tony DeAngelo. For me, is really where, after all the drama he created in Rangers, how he's going to respond. This may be his last chance, opportunities in NHL. So for me, I'm curious about how he's going to be for the Carolina Hurricanes for the upcoming season. The Colorado Avalanche, this, the guys, is after they lost a lot of players, to be honest with you. Gruber, Graves, Brandon Saad over there. You know what I mean? So that's a big major player they lost, right? And then now they trade for Darcy Kemper, and I want to see how he's going to respond with the pressure. He's going to be compared to Gruber. Can Colorado hang in there like they was before? They miss a couple of pieces of the puzzle as the forward right now. So really interesting about what Kemper is going to do between the pipe for the Avalanche and the upcoming season. Listen, Tampa Bay Lightning, this is another team where they lost a lot of good piece, the puzzle over there. We're talking about coach. But, first of all, they lost Tyler Johnson. They lost Goodrow. They lost Yanni Gord. They lost Blake Coleman. So they lost completely the third line. And they patch up with a couple of players like Bokosian and the veteran Corey Perry. And I'm curious about what Perry is going to do after a good year with the Montreal Canadiens, where he scored 9 goals. Would be interesting how he's going to hang in there for 82 games with the Tampa Bay Lightning. For the Washington Capitals, not many changes were there. Honestly, they did not really, barely did many. So Matt Irwin is the one I select for the Washington. The Montreal Canadiens. Now, this one, it could be on few different ways. I went with what I'm curious what he's going to do on power play. I could go with David Savard, but I think it's too big to compare him with Weyburn. And Perreault and Paquette is not really what you can compare. For me, I have to go with Mike Hoffman, what kind of season he's going to do with the Montreal Canadiens. The pressure. He's always playing Ottawa before. Now, for the New York Islanders, Richard Panik. We know Islanders right now didn't do a lot of change. They are also waiting for a couple more days, but Islanders, the only one I can tell you right now is Richard Panik. It was straight against Nick Lady. And then finally, for the Coyotes, listen, this you can go with all the bad contract they got, but I want to go with the youngest Connor Timmins, great pick from the Colorado Avalanche a couple of years ago, second-round pick, 32 overall. And I think for me, he will have an opportunity right now to play with the Coyotes, and that will make a big difference for me, to be honest with you. So that's what concludes, guys, my 32 selection or players per team for what I'm curious to know for the upcoming season. I think it will be really interesting what they're going to do with their new team. Like I mentioned to you, this is a selection by a player who was traded or they was signed as a UFA for the new team for the season 2021 and 2022. But before we leave, we want to invite you. Don't forget, please, to subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show on YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. And finally, if you like this video, click on the likes. And, of course, leave me your comment. Tell me what you think. What maybe about, I don't know, the Vancouver Canucks or maybe your favorite team. Before we leave, we want to remind you one more thing. Of course, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great day, everybody. I look forward to see you for the next video. And then, finally, bonne journée, mes amis. On se reparle un peu plus tard pour un autre vidéo de Hockey Nation Live Show.